What's that?
Oh, no, he's back.
I'm here. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sitting in the lap of luxury here. I set myself up with a hands-free mic and...
Yeah, mate. I wanted to set myself up too, but Belinda and I got carried away at the health emporium and ate too much.
How are you, Belinda?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, doing well. Are you keeping Horrie honest?
Yeah, trying to. Doing your best. I'm giving him a couple of new challenges to get through the whole menu. We've got to get through the whole menu at the health emporium in the next 2 years.
Kevin was just talking about what he did for his 50th and 60th birthday. So what did you do to recap again, Kevin?
Oh, 50th birthday was 2010. I went to the pool and did 50/50s on 50 seconds each. But then when I turned 60, I went to the athletic track. That was just last year, and did 60/60s on 60 seconds each. So the sprints on the track. So I'm just worried that when I get to 100, doing 100 hundreds might be a bit hard.
Yeah, what are you going to do for your 100th, mate?
Yeah, 100 hundreds. What I'll do is I'll do 100 by 100 millimeters.
100 less than a harbour.
What's 100 millimeters? About that far.
I'm looking forward to being in the nursing home and just walking around the courtyard, and no one else can do it with me.
No, you can do 100 laps at the courtyard.
Yeah, 100 laps at the courtyard, mate. Yeah.
I can't remember what I did for my 50th, but as you probably noted, I did 60 kilometres last week. There's no way I could do 70 kilometres for 70.
I've got a feeling you did something around 50 kilometres. I'm sure you would have done something around 50 kilometres.
Yeah. I guess that wasn't really a challenge then. It's more of a challenge now. Have you cracked 50 yet, Horrie?
Yeah, mate, I'm way over 50. I'm 58 in about 2 months' time.
No, so just a youngster.
What's your plan then?
How come I'm not feeling so young?
So what's your plan for your 60th? What will you do, Horrie?
It's in embryonic stage at this stage, but I've got a feeling that the UTA event will be on my 60th birthday, and I may yet do the 100K on my 60th birthday.
Wow.
That's a lot further than I did.
Yeah, I don't know if I've got it in me, but, mate, as somebody said to me, you could do it, you just got to train for it.
Fair enough.
And I thought, well, you can't do it without training, can you?
Yep.
But 6 foot was tough enough last week.
Yeah, so you snuck in by 3 minutes. That's amazing.
Oh, mate, yeah, I always cramp on the 6 foot track, but they kicked in a lot earlier than usual this time, and I knew I was in trouble. I thought I said to John Melanchenko, who was positioned himself at the pluviometer, mate, I don't know if I can make it. I said, you need to pray for me.
Well, there's no way let alone qualify, but I don't think I would finish. Like even with my trotting around Sydney on Saturday, I noted the time. I was at about 35 Ks at 7.5 hours. So there's just no way I'd finish it. Would you finish it, Kevin, you reckon?
7 hours based on that.
No, definitely not.
What's the cutoff time? Is it 7 hours or something? No, I've got... Yeah, but I've run a 6 foot track. My last one was about 30 years ago. Yeah, the 4.5 hour days.
You've done it?
I ran 3 of them. I did 4 hours. I finished in the top 20 one year, about 4.5 hours.
Yeah, that's right. You were gunning your day, weren't you?
Long time ago.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It might have been a long time ago, but you're still a gun, mate.
But my aim at the moment is to do one more Frankston to Portsea run. And
that's
I haven't
55.
done that since 2004. So, that's only in a couple of weeks' time. So I'm expecting a long day.
Isn't it? That's
55.
about 55.
Yeah, 55K on the road, and I reckon I'm going to be 7 hours plus. So it's going to be a walk, shuffle. But I just want to do one more, so I've got 10 finishes.
All right.
Do you have a cut-off for that?
Give yourself
No,
a
we're
block
just
of chocolate.
yeah. I'll buy myself a block of chocolate, but Kate Ablett's going to be the sort of the person on the day
you
that
don't
hands
give,
out
you
the
don't give
chocolate.
a mirror anymore, do you?
No, well, I dropped all that and dropped the entry fee, so it's a free run. Just turn up and we'll buy you chocolate at the finish, and that's it. But there's a lot of history there, of course, going back to 1973. But no, we don't have a cut-off. And Peter Gray took 21 hours one year, started the night before. We saw him on the road at one point, and then he finished.
Wow. Did you know, Kevin,
Well,
there's
that's better. Can hear him better now.
Oh, that's good. Are you home
That's
now?
better.
Or?
Yeah, I just got home and I was having a bit of problem with the volume and I couldn't really do much when I was in the car.
Fair enough.
But I'm going to somewhere more comfortable now.
Sounds
The
like a
lounge
plan.
chair.
I'll plonk myself on the lounge.
All right,
Uh-huh.
that's good. We're getting a live feed of Horrie. You got to
Horrie's
show us
back
where
there.
all your memorabilia is, Horrie. Your running shoes and things like that.
Oh, a lot of it's put away, but I got a bit out. I'll show you a bit of it.
Okay, sounds good. While you're walking, Kevin, there's an ex-triathlete, Rick Wells, in New Zealand. Rick Wells. He was a real champion at it in his early days, but he's a swimmer. And I've been following him on Facebook, and he's in some sort of club or group. They're doing 10 kilometer training swims all the time over on the over in New Zealand.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
10K. Oh, that was a standard old set I used to do. 10K in the pool.
10Ks.
10K swimming.
How long did that take you?
Oh, it varied. If I did 100 hundreds, that was about three and a bit hours. But sometimes I mix it up with kicking drills and whatever, and it could drag out to 4 hours. But there's lots of different ways you can do it. 250s, 100 hundreds, 10 by 1K. It just varied so much. But yeah, it was a long time in the pool. It used to annoy some of the pool guards.
I bet.
One day I was the only one at the pool, and the whole time I was in the pool, they had to have a guard there. That's a legal requirement.
Yes.
And
Yes.
when I finally got out, the guy was quite happy. He wasn't real impressed, though.
No. Well, at least you finished, mate. There's Renford Leisure Centre, which is just up the road from me. It's named after him. He actually died while he was doing laps one day. He had a heart attack and died.
I knew he died of a heart attack. I didn't know it was while he was swimming.
Yeah, it was while he was swimming, mate.
Oh, well, best way to go, I suppose.
Yes, I'd agree with that.
It's the way he would have liked to have gone.
Yeah.
That's good. So what, did you do any exercise today, Glenn?
Yeah, I did park run this morning.
Yeah, where at?
Out at Greenway, out at Haberfield, the Bay.
Yeah, and what are you doing 5Ks in these days?
Oh, I just ran with Belinda today. We did about 32, just under 33 minutes, I think.
Oh, there's Timmy.
Yeah, she's on the edge. Tim's just come out. How are you, mate? Good. Yeah, Tim didn't come with us. It was too wet for him this morning.
So how'd you pull up Belinda? Is Belinda still there?
No, she's gone now. We've got home. I've come inside. She's gone to her car. She's going to see a friend. That was the plan. I'll talk to you guys while she goes and sees a friend.
That's good. That's good. Did you do any exercise, Kevin, or are you just doing timekeeping?
No, I did a very slow 3K run this morning, if that counts.
Yeah, that counts.
That's about all. Yeah.
Do your knees still play up?
And I had to swim. I swam a couple of K out in the bay. But again, that was very slow. We just plod along these days. Yeah.
Is it cold?
No, the water's it's just perfect right now.
It's a good time.
It's starting to drop. Yeah, it'll get cold by May. The end of April, the water's dropped, and you get into May and it gets cold. And
yeah, Belinda just went for a swim. That's where we've been. After park run, I was going to go, but then I piked because the water looked a bit too rough for me. But we Icebergs pool, and she reckoned it was beautiful.
Oh yeah, the Bondi Icebergs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great pool. Yeah, I like that venue.
Yeah, and you're right about the water temperature. At this time of year, it's just perfect.
You
know what I mean?
Gets a bit too hot in summer.
They did for long, but about this month or two period around February, March, It's really, and then April and then May starts to get too cold. That's when you've got to get.
Oh, we've dropped out.
Do you have to get the wetsuit on?
Oh, the wetsuit. No, we ban wetsuits down here. It's against the rules. You can get your head punched.
Mate.
You can get shot for wearing a wetsuit. You get banished.
So what time did you get up this morning, Kevin, to do your exercise before you went to athletics?
Oh, about 7, not too early.
That's all right. That's good.
Early enough because it's still dark at 7 o'clock down here until we get rid of daylight savings.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Horrie, Kevin was very, very polite and quiet on Thursday night, wasn't he?
Mate, I tell you what, Kevin's a good winner. I always say Kevin Cassidy's a good winner, mate. Whenever the Storm wins, his post-match reports, he just gives it to the opposition.
Yeah.
He just gives it to them. But when they lose, crickets, mate, nothing.
Yeah.
So
I lose my voice.
I really wanted Parramatta to win, but when Parramatta won, I thought, you know what? I'm going to find out. I'm going to ask Kevin where his post-match report is.
No, I forgot. What game was that again?
Mind you, I didn't expect the win, to be perfectly honest. Another friend, Matt, actually, Horrie, who talks with Kevin and me sometimes, he'll hopefully come on another week when we do it. He's a Manly supporter, and he texted me and said, game over. I said, don't jinx it, and they scored straight after it.
Oh, right. But Manly got smashed. Yeah. But I was very impressed with the game, like both teams on Thursday night, because it was so wet. I thought, this is going to be lots of spilt ball and fumbles. But both teams didn't make too many errors.
Like you, Kevin, given the conditions, I thought it was a great game.
Yeah, good standard, but Parramatta just were a bit more steady, a bit more. They adapted a bit better.
Yeah, you could tell on Thursday night that the Storm really missed Cameron Smith's leadership. I think at those crucial parts of the game, he would just steady him, and he would just steady him. He'd just take control of the ruck, control the speed of the game. And I don't know if you noticed, mate, but Brandon Smith, he was out on his feet after about 60 minutes.
I noticed that. They took him off and they had a shot of him, and he was just all bent over.
He was gone, mate. He was gone. And I got another Parramatta supporter that I know through, I keep in touch with him via Facebook now. Mark O. I don't know if you ever met Mark Plew.
Mark who?
Mark O. O-H.
Oh, yeah.
He used to be on Cool Running as Mo.
Yeah.
And he's a Parramatta supporter. He was out there and he said, mate, they really need Harry Grant back because Brandon Smith, there was one whole set of 6 where he couldn't get into dummy half. He wasn't fit enough to get into dummy half.
No, he was stuffed. He was,
Yeah.
But, Harry Grant will be back in 2 more weeks, apparently.
Yeah.
But Brandon Smith, he's a good impact player off the bench, but he couldn't do it for 80 minutes.
He's not an 80-minute hooker.
No.
I know he's trying to talk himself up. I want to play hooker and all that. But honestly, if I'm in charge of the Storm, Harry Grant's my number 1 hooker every day of the week.
Yeah, well, that's their go. That's the man they want. So as soon as he's fit, he'll be back.
Because I'm thinking Harry Grant is going to be the Cameron Smith of his generation. He's already showing a lot of promise. And I said to my mate who really hoped, he's a Tigers supporter, he really hoped that the Tigers could keep him. I said, of course you want to keep him. I said, but mate, there's no way Melbourne are going to let him go. I said, he is the hooker of the next generation. He's like Cameron Smith 15 years ago. You know what I mean? And he's already showing, a lot of class even at his young age. You know what I mean? So...
What I find interesting is that Kevin's coach is our age, and I've watched a little bit of the NFL. And what do you reckon it is about? Everyone talks about how they're so good as a team. What do you see outside looking in live? How they're organised and why they're so good, Kevin?
Oh, it's just the culture of the place. Like Billy Slater's still there coaching. Robbie Kearns is still there coaching. Average players used to get recruited to the Storm and become premiership players, and they came into a winning culture. That's really. Whoops! I nearly lost my door then. It just flew open in the wind. But it all goes back to Craig Bellamy. He's the man at the top, and the coaching staff around him. Kevin Walters there for a while. They seem to have some very high-profile assistant coaches as well.
Yeah, they got Steve Kearney back there now too.
Yeah, because they sacked him from the Warriors last year, which surprised me.
That's right.
I thought the Warriors were doing quite well considering what they had to go through. They left home and then got told, "No, sorry, you can't come home again." And they suffered the most last year. Well, they had to tolerate a lot anyway.
Yeah. So
what do you reckon about Trent then, Horrie? What's his thing? He's a different sort of coach too.
Yeah, different. He's a bit more of a sort of studier of the game, rather, like he's not as intense as Craig Bellamy. You see Craig Bellamy in the coach's box.
Oh,
looks like he's going to have a heart attack every minute of the day. Trent's a bit more laid back, but Trent is just, all the players who play for him say that he's the most intelligent coach they've ever had. Like, he really sits down and explains things to them. He talks about the game plan and the Roosters way, and so that he's building the same sort of structure, I guess, as Bellamy has over the years, just to put the team, set up the team style that it doesn't really matter what players you've got, they're always going to play that style. The way they want to play football, and they play their own style.
It's interesting.
He talks about the Roosters way, and when he said it, I went to a pre-season talk. It wasn't last year because COVID, must have been 2 years ago. He talked about the Roosters way, and even though he's not from the eastern suburbs himself, he spent a lot of time researching what it was like for people living and growing up in the eastern suburbs way back in the early 1900s and that, So, and we weren't always, back in the day, Bondi and Paddington wasn't always wasn't always the latte set. They had it very tough back in the day. You know what I mean? They were working class people.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Would Melbourne have a sort of a geographical demographic, or is just Melbourne and the Melbourne Storm?
Yeah, it's just the Melbourne. We don't have a lot of history, only 20 years or so. But the demographic, I think a lot of people from the outer east, because when Melbourne Storm play practice games, they'll play out at Casey Fields, which is about 40k east of Melbourne.
Wow.
One of the outer suburbs, and that seems to be a fan base out there. Unfortunately, it didn't happen this year when we were going to play a practice game against Newcastle, and Newcastle said, no, we're not flying into Victoria, so it was moved to Albury on the other side of the border. So I drove all the way up to Albury for the game.
Oh, good.
Yeah, which was good. But COVID doesn't exist in Albury because they had all these signs up and saying, what you had to do and what you can and can't do. But everyone just packed into the stadium, into the ground, 4,000 people. We're all shoulder to shoulder. There's two guys walking around with yellow shirts on that said COVID officer, and I thought, what are they going to do? And nothing. As soon as the game was over, everyone runs out and they're all getting selfies with the players, hugging them and everything. Yeah. And then the announcement came up and said, now people in this end of the ground leave in 5 minutes at this gate and you people leave at that gate and blah, blah, blah. So what did everybody do? Everyone just walked straight to the gates they wanted to and walked out to the street.
Fascinating. Back to what you were saying before, Glenn, I think the difference between Trent and the previous coach of the Broncos was they're probably both intelligent, probably different life experiences, but Trent can actually communicate.
Yeah.
There's no point having
he's got that sort of, laid back delivery. You know what I mean? He's not as uptight when he talks. Seabold looks a bit uptight, you know what I mean? And when things weren't going well, he lost his effect on the playing group, whereas Trent's got the playing group. They all hang on every word he says, you know what I mean? So
what are your thoughts? Because you've got a couple of players with concussion. What are your thoughts generally about that?
Well, mate, I'm starting to notice, watch it a lot closer than I have before. But what they're saying is the more concussions a player gets, it doesn't take as much to knock them out.
Yeah.
And what I'm noticing about both Boyd Cordner and Jake Friend, I've watched them for a long period of time, and they have had a lot of head knocks over their careers, right? But now it's almost like any sort of contact with the head, and they're knocked out. Whereas in the past, they would have absorbed those knocks and not be knocked out. So I think it's just the repeated head knocks just, damages the brain to the point where you're just getting, it takes less and less of an impact to have the same effect. So I definitely think they're both at, like, I guess, a pretty precarious stage in their career where I can't see them both playing a lot more football, to be honest.
Yeah.
I hope they both decide to retire off their own back. Especially Boyd Cordner last year when he got cleaned up, and I thought, this guy's the brain damage has already started. When he gets older, it's going to affect him.
Oh, for sure.
So I was just hoping. I hope he's got the sense himself to give this away. He's done everything in the game. Premiership captain.
And they're both the same. They're both 3-time premiership winners. Well, the only thing Jake hasn't done is played for Australia, but he played Origin last year. So, I just, like you, I see Boyd Cordner, and I've met him, and he's a lovely man. He's so well spoken. Yeah, it was we went down to Coogee one year for Mother's Day. No, Father's Day it was, and we went there for breakfast, and to this cafe in Coogee, and he was having breakfast with his dad, and just a nice, polite young man. I said good day to him, and but just really, really well mannered and really well spoken, and and he's been doing it for a long time. He's been brought into the Roosters. The Roosters signed him when he was about 15 or 16. You know what I mean? So he's been playing for and absorbing those sorts of knocks for a long time.
We got a number of ex-AFL footballers down here, sort of late 40s, early 50s. A couple of them actually need carers to get through the day because they just don't remember anything. Yeah. Some of them are in a real bad way. John Barnes is one, ruckman for Essendon. He got knocked out a number of times during his career. He's 49 and he needs a carer.
Really?
Just all,
That's so awful, isn't it? You don't think about that. We just think about, Changa Langland's in a nursing home, like in his late age.
Yeah.
But
well, that's Johnny Raper now. Johnny Raper doesn't recognise his family, apparently.
Johnny, that's a name I hadn't heard of for quite a while. Johnny Raper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know we just get there and cheer for them, and it's great to see all the hits and everything. But we don't have to.
And that's the thing when you're watching them as young men and how tough and fit they are and everything. You're not thinking of what they're going to be like when they're 50 or 60 years old, are you? You know?
True.
There was I think he was a Fijian. Was he on the Melbourne side or was it last night's game? And he was on the left hand, probably around the centre, and he smashed into whoever he was playing. Do you have a Fijian player in Storm?
Got a few, I think.
No, sorry, in Papua New Guinea.
Oh, New Guinea.
It's the centre. What's his name? Olam.
Oh, Olam. Justin Olam, number 4.
Yeah. He hit a guy.
Yeah.
Pretty well with his head and just wiped him out.
That was Olam. Yeah. He's just put on muscle this year. He's really strong looking bugger. He's not very tall. He's just all brute strength.
No, he'd be a handful to play against because he's only got one speed, hasn't he? He's just 100 miles an hour. Everything he does is 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. So what was the who are you playing this week, Glenn? Let me have a look here.
West Tigers tomorrow. Out at Campbelltown. Tim and I were thinking about going out, but the reality is with the weather, there's not a lot of undercover out there.
Yeah.
So we had a talk about it last night. Thought, you know what? Might be a bit better to go and watch them at East Leagues.
Yeah.
On the big screen.
Yeah.
Watch them at East Leagues on the big screen.
Move.
At least we'll stay dry. We'll get something nice to eat and, just enjoy ourselves.
No,
I have been to the Campbell Stadium. No, Campbell. What is it? Campbelltown.
Campbelltown. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I've been out there a few times to the athletics track, and
Yeah, for the
I've seen the football ground, and there's like one grandstand, mate, and that's it.
And that's it. Yeah.
That's it. So
Either
on
the
a weather
grandstand.
like this at the moment, you're
Mm.
just going to get soaked. And I years ago, I back in 2013 or 2014, I took him out to Leichhardt Oval to watch them play West Tigers
Yeah,
that
I've been there
Saturday
too.
night. And again, it poured, and we were again, no, it's out in the elements, and we got soaked, but it was good because the Roosters flogged them, and they'll probably flog them tomorrow too. But you know, we don't need to do that.
So the week ahead, Penrith are playing you next week on Thursday night, Kevin.
Yeah, next Thursday, the grand final replay, as they call it, but I don't see it as a grand final replay. It's just another game.
There's only 10 cents difference in the betting market for them. $1.85 to $1.95.
I don't follow that, but I wonder how Penrith will go this year. It's a very different season to last year. There's 4 more games. There's an Origin series in the middle rather than at the end. So yeah, we'll see how they cope with that.
And I tell you what, Penrith had a very favourable draw last year.
Yeah,
they didn't have to.
Parramatta.
Penrith and Parramatta didn't have to do much travelling at all.
Mm.
You know, and what I found most remarkable about last year, and it didn't get a lot of press, was that Melbourne played the whole season away from home.
Yeah, we never saw
one.
I never saw a game last year.
No, but you know, like you were based out of Queensland,
yeah,
right? And like I was talking about the Warriors, and you know, and the Warriors, fair enough, they deserve the plaudits. But I'm thinking nobody's talking about the Melbourne Storm being away from home for 4 or 5 months.
They're
had to
doing
get
it
as well,
too.
and they're winning every week. You know what I mean? And still playing good football. So.
The fans weren't happy because we never got to a game at all.
No.
So paid the membership, so that was money down the drain. I got a bumper sticker on the car. That was better. It's the most expensive bumper sticker I've ever bought.
Yeah, well, with the Roosters, we got the option of getting a refund or letting them keep the money. And I said, you know what? They give me a lot of pleasure. They've given me a lot of pleasure over the years. They can have the money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that was my attitude too. It's been a good ride for 20 years, so I'm not worried about the $500.
Yeah. And it's not like you get the money, but what are you going to spend the money on anyway? You know what I mean? Like you might as well, they can have it.
Yeah. So this year we hope to get to every home game, and unless our illustrious Premier stuffs up the quarantine again and we go into another lockdown. Yeah.
No, I think we've got a pretty good grip on it now. I think the few outbreaks we've had is from people working in the hotel quarantine system and then getting out into the community without realising that. I think we've got a bit better grip on it now to not give those people the freedoms that they probably had back then.
Yeah. Mm.
And then what have we got? We've got Rabbitohs and the Roosters on Friday night.
Well, that'll be a good game.
Yeah.
Friday night, I'll be on TV.
That's when we'll get a better gauge of, like my brother sort of texted me after the Roosters flogged Manly, big season. And I went, hang on, let's wait until they play a decent side so we can get a better read on them. And what my worry is that we're going to come off probably 2 good wins. I'm expecting a good win tomorrow. A good win against Manly, and so everybody's going to be talking up the Roosters. And South, mate, I really rate South's chances this year. So they're a good side. So be interesting. I think that'll give us more of an indication of where we're at next week. So where's the Storm and Penrith game?
That's at
Penrith.
At Penrith. And I just saw flash across the news. I've got it on. Coruscant, is that his name for Penrith?
Coruscant is out for 5
6 weeks.
Yeah.
When did he get injured?
When did he get? Must have
been
training or something.
Yeah. API. What's API?
Happy.
Oh, it's his
That's his name,
name.
Appy
Appy
Coruscant.
Coruscant. Sorry.
Oh, Happy. Happy's his name.
I
He's a
need
happy
my
person.
glasses. Appy. Yeah. Who are the Eels playing? We're playing the Sharks.
That's a big loss for them. That's a big loss for Penrith. Coruscant, he's been very good for them since he's gone back.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny, he was a good player at Penrith before. Then he went to Manly. Didn't do much at Manly at all. Manly, in the end, virtually gave him away. They didn't want him anymore. Goes back to Penrith and he brains it. You know what I mean? So
it's a broken wrist.
Is it?
Wrist.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that'll take a while.
Yeah, it'll take a few weeks at least. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's at least 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah,
because the bone's got a man and heel, and you can't rush those things.
You got to move it, and
yeah,
that'd be hard. And it looks like I'm playing the Sharks on Saturday night.
The Sharks.
Yeah.
Where at?
Bank West again. It looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll pick Para in that one.
Yeah, I'll go for Parramatta. I've got to get to Bank West Stadium one day. It looks like a good stadium.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet.
I've never been there, and I said to Tim, when the Roosters play Para this year out at Parramatta, we'll definitely go out. And I was talking to my mate who follows the West Tigers. He said, "Mate, I've been out there 3 or 4 times. I haven't been that impressed with it." And I went, "Well," I went, and he said, "Yeah, the view's not as good as you think it is," and rah rah. And I'm thinking, mate, it looks good on TV. So I'd like to, what I like about these new stadiums is they're undercover and you're pretty close to the action from the sound of it.
Well, I was keen to go to Townsville's, the Cowboys' new stadium. I even had a ticket last year, an air ticket to the game, but then COVID came along and it all got hit on the head. But they've got a nice new stadium right in the centre of town.
Yeah, this Penrith Stadium is very, the walls are very high. It's sort of, it's not as steep as the Queensland one at Lang Park or the old Lang Park. I haven't been in there yet. My problem with it is parking at Parramatta.
Yeah.
They expect you to walk.
Yeah, they expect you, or you catch a train. It doesn't work for
me.
Mate,
I think we'll be public transporting it, mate. The drive out to Parramatta is not an easy one. And like you said, the parking's impossible. So I think we'll just bus and train it.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm just looking here now. It looks like it's Canterbury and Penrith, the old coach versus the new coach.
Yeah,
of course.
That's on today.
That's on at 3 o'clock.
That's the 3 o'clock game.
Yeah, what time? Yeah, so
Saturday.
That's good. Well, what's the week involved for you guys?
Lots
running?
of work.
What work are you doing? You're retired, aren't you, Kevin?
I'm retired. Yeah, I've never been busier. Garden clean. Honestly, I just do all handyman work, and it's just every day. There's just so much to do. It's fun though. Enjoy it. So I've got a garden to clean up Monday. Another garden to clean up Tuesday. What's Wednesday? You got a few odd jobs for a few different people on Wednesday. Yeah, I think it goes on and on.
That's amazing. That's good.
The end of the list.
And what about you, Glenn? Because you're retired or semi-retired,
I'm retired as well, yeah. But I'm not a handyman. Kevin can come up and do some jobs for me.
I'll start painting and hammering nails in.
And somebody said to me, "Oh, geez, you must be very busy, working around your house these days." I go, "No, mate, wrong person."
No, wrong person.
I am not a handyman. I hate that sort of stuff.
Oh, no.
Are you still running as much, Glenn? What are you doing? You're getting out?
I walk probably, 90, 100 Ks a week.
A week?
A lot more than me.
Wow. Yeah. That's my yearly total. My monthly total, sorry.
It's about a month for me, yeah.
But more walking, the walking pads it up, because I got my dog and then I got my daughter's dog that she drops off in the morning. So I've got to walk them every day. So
how's your body? How's your body holding up?
It's holding up. Belinda always goes, "You got no structural injuries." But I just feel that I guess I'm just being worn down by the amount of running that I've done over the years. I've got no elasticity in the muscles. I'm usually pretty stiff. Probably should do more stretching.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
But yeah, I'm just happy that I can still do it. It's getting harder to do, like 6 foot last week. You know, when you got
That's
tough
amazing.
events like that, you realise that you're nowhere near. And I guess you just got to be faced with your own decline. You know, you're reminded every day just how you're aging and declining. But you know, still be thankful that you can still do it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
You can still get out there.
I can still do these events. And somebody said, "Oh, you know, when will you finish running 6 foot?" And I go, "When I can't do it anymore." That's you know, how long will you be running marathons in 6 foot? And I said, "As long as I can."
Yeah.
Until the body says no more, then I'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a good philosophy. Yeah, you just got to be appreciative that you can still get out there and have a bit of a run.
So will you have some swims during the week? Because it's a physical week for you, Kevin, anyway.
Well, I don't swim much these days, but I might sneak in one swim during the week. We'll see how we go.
Is that right? You're not swimming much either now?
I haven't done, it'll be about 3 years now.
Really?
I sort of retired from the long swims, ticked all my boxes. So I did all I wanted to do. And And the long distance swimming requires a degree of body fat, which wasn't terribly healthy as I was getting older. So
yeah,
just a bit of slow running, dropped about 12 kilograms, and
wow.
Yeah, so I'll just stay on that path for health reasons because the cholesterol was creeping up. It went over 6.
Yeah.
So,
wow, yeah.
All the cheese and the chocolate.
My last blood test showed cholesterol was creeping up a little bit, so I've got to watch that as well.
Yeah, just oats and bananas get your cholesterol down very quick. It's Mother Nature's way of cleaning the system out.
Yeah,
okay.
I got into oats last year. I have Wheat Bix and oats. And I knocked about 0.5% off, so I was happy with that. I haven't done it for about 1.5 years, but yeah.
Yeah, you don't need those stupid pills they give you. What are they? Statins?
Yeah.
Doctors want to push the pills on you, but yeah, there's Mother Nature's way of doing it.
You say that, like I got a mate who I run a few bums marathons with. I don't know if you know him, Victor Ziegler. Plu?
No.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he did 60 for 60 and he ran in the rain last night.
Yeah,
marathon.
No, that's Victor Correa. That's Victor.
Sorry.
This is another Victor Ziegler, right?
Oh, yeah.
He lives only like a few k's from me down in Maroubra, and he had high cholesterol. And like you said, Kevin, they put him on these pills, and then when he got some blood tests, he had what did he have a lot of? It wasn't his cholesterol wasn't out of balance, but something else was out of balance.
Yeah, they do have side effects.
What do you usually have when you drink a lot of milk?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Mm.
Well, let the experts work that out.
He had a lot of
something.
He had a lot of something in his blood, which they thought was dangerous. But anyway, as they checked out that it wasn't that bad, you know, they thought it was indicative of. But you know what? When he did his research, Dr. Google, the friggin' pills he was having was causing the problem.
Yeah, I know. They push pills on you because they get a kickback out of it.
He had like very high levels of calcium in his blood.
Calcium,
from milk, yeah.
Yeah,
that can cause trouble
because of that statin pill or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
When he did his research, it has lots of calcium in that. So because he's taken these pills, which they told him he needs to lower his cholesterol, he's increased the calcium.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Teach the purpose.
Oh, mate. Yeah.
Well,
I guess they're the challenges we all face as we get older, isn't it? You know, knowing what to do and who to listen to, and
because I haven't had a beer for over 6 years now. My Friday night is I call it my sugar night. So I go down and buy bananas and mustics, and I sit in front of the footy and eat those. And sometimes, as I haven't had sugar for so long, I've actually got a headache by the end of the night.
Yeah.
It's too much sugar. Yeah.
I can imagine that.
Yeah. But I've found vanilla Coke, Diet Vanilla Coke. Love it.
Okay.
There's no sugar in it.
No vanilla, just Diet Coke.
Yeah. Because
Right.
I think I just like having sort of a beer in my hand or a drink in my hand sort of thing.
Mm.
And the vanilla Coke's just got a little bit of flavor to it. So it's quite nice.
Okay.
Yeah. The things we do to pretend we're healthy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Too
sure
much
about those diet soft drinks. I don't think they're that healthy for you. But anyway, you
I
can
drink
always
too
have
many of them.
something worse.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's good. Well, guys, that was really good. Will you join us again, Horrie?
Yeah, mate, for sure, for
Oh.
sure.
I'll try and get Matt involved next time. He's a Manly supporter, so between the four of us, I'm looking at the screen
Well,
now.
Manly supporter, mate. I hope he's getting counselling.
No.
You will love that. You and he
I've
will
had
have good
counselling
banter.
after Thursday night.
Mate, fair dinkum. Manly, they're falling off a cliff, mate.
Oh, have they? What?
Yeah.
Turbo Tom is missing, and they're lost without him.
I think what Manly situation is showing is how you manage your cap. Like they've got so much of their salary cap tied up in about 4 or 5 players.
Yeah,
And
that's not a good thing.
you just don't have that depth across your squad. So if they get a few injuries, they're struggling.
Yeah, they haven't got much there.
Mm.
Yeah, it's all part of the game. Manage the salary cap. It's all a juggling act.
Well, and I think when you look at the long-term sustained success of Melbourne and the Roosters, show you that they've got a pretty good grasp on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know what they can pay certain players, and they know when they can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and like you said, mate, Melbourne's ability just to attract Neville nobodies and turn them into decent players is amazing.
Yeah, Josh Adokar couldn't get a senior game at the Tigers.
Well, you know what? I always remind my Tigers, mate. I said, back in the day, when you had Jason Taylor as your coach,
you
had that famous winger called Jordan Rankin. You had Jordan Rankin in first grade, Josh Adokar in reserve grade. Who are you going to play, Rankin or Adokar? And I said, your great coach Taylor went for Rankin.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Adokar goes down to the Storm and becomes an Australian winger.
Yeah. That's why they sacked the coach.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, but no, like even like last year, Brenko Lee. What are they signing Brenko Lee for?
Yeah.
Again, when he plays for Melbourne, he does his job.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is. There's something, whether it's the drugs they're taking, but something happens when they come down there.
I think it's a very, it's very intense coaching, and you play this position, and this is what you have to do. You just have to concentrate on doing that.
Yeah.
And they just have to worry about their own role, and then everything else falls into place.
Yeah, true.
Because, some of these players, when they leave Melbourne, they go to other clubs. Oh, we've got to get this player because he played so good in Melbourne. They sign him for big money, and they go and play for other clubs, and they do nothing.
Yeah, Kevin Proctor.
Yeah, that's
Adam
right.
Blair.
Yeah, great game last night.
Jeremy Smith back in the day. They've had a lot of high-profile players that have gone on and signed elsewhere and done nothing.
They haven't got the structure around them.
No,
the team around them.
Yeah.
And actually, just to wrap up, to change the topic, I saw the Barclay Marathon was on this weekend.
Oh, I did see that was on. I don't know whether
anyone's
finished or not.
No one finished again.
2 blokes are going to finish the fun run. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's it. Crazy event.
Apparently, the conditions are never good, right? But this year, the conditions were worse than ever. They had non-stop torrential rain. The course was like a quagmire.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the 2 people who did the fun run, and that's like 60 Ks in 40 hours or something. That's the fun run.
No, 60 miles. That's 100 Ks.
Sorry, 100 Ks in 40 hours. Sorry, yeah. And he's won it before a couple of times.
Yeah, he's won it 3 times.
3
He's
times.
a 3-time finisher. Yeah.
And Courtney Dalwater, I don't know how far she got, but she was
2 laps.
2 laps. Yeah.
She and the other top females got timed out after 2 laps.
Yeah, amazing. It's an amazing
20
race, that one,
20
isn't it?
25 hours to do 40 miles.
Jeez. That's wild.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Oh.
All right, well, we're going to have to talk about both your ultra running feats one day, because you did Badwater, didn't you, Horrie?
Yeah, I did Badwater 10 years ago now.
10 years ago.
And,
I was talking to Belinda about it today. I mean, can you believe it's been 10 years since Badwater and 14 years since we first did Western States? So no.
And
the years
a
get
long
away.
time ago.
And when did you do Western States again, Kevin?
97.
97.
Yeah, it's only quarter of a century ago. So all my runs are 25. And
97. That was like 10 years before we did it.
Yeah, and that was about my last real big ultra. So all my history goes back a long time, back to the 80s and early 90s. It's a whole lifetime ago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Righto, boys, we've got a game to watch.
All right. Well, thanks, Lou.
Getting that time. Yeah, of course, 3 o'clock. Yeah.
Thanks, and up the chooks.
Yeah, no, go Storm. Yeah.
And we'll see what the Eels can do.
All right.
I rate them this year, so yeah.
Yeah, I did. To be honest with you, I didn't rate them much before the start of the season, but that they proved me wrong on Thursday night. I didn't think they'd be able to beat the Storm, and they played a really smart game in the wet. I think Moses, for once, didn't try to overplay his hand, and he looked a lot better.
No, that's good.
Yeah, Gutterson was good.
Oh, Gutterson's always good, mate. He's underrated. He's a good player. See how he held up Big Nelson, mate.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Watch
the slow-mo replay. Well, how did he do that? That was a definite try any day of the week. But he stopped it.
Nelson scores those tries 9 times out of 10, mate.
Yeah. He's such a big guy.
Yeah.
Right,
boys.
All right.
Great catching up.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll do this again. Okay.
Just let me know whenever you want to do it again, Plu.
No worries.
See you in the fast lane, as always.
All right, bye.
See you guys. Bye.